They like women that are self-sufficient. They like women that have their own, women that can take care of themselves. They like that, but they don't like the independent woman. What that means is I don't want to provide all the things that you are providing for yourself. Like, what I don't like is that you don't make me feel like you still depend on me anyway.
Men like to feel important. They always like to feel needed. I feel like that boosts their ego. They love the fact that you want something and you're calling, hey baby, can you do this for me? And be like, I'm not ready to do this. Or they want you begging for their attention. They want you begging for money and they want you to beg so that if you don't see them, things will not be done. They always want to feel important in your life. Even though they're not going to do that thing, they want you to ask them to do it before you do it. They feel like they are not responsible when you do those things without asking them to do. You do the things that they are supposed to do, you do them by yourself. It hurts them, it hurts their ego. They are not happy. And that is why most men cannot stand independent women. Hey, beautiful people, how are you all doing today? Chagomara Davis, and thank you so much for tuning in. Another interesting video. They don't want independent women and they don't like gold diggers. They don't want you to have your money, and they don't want to spend money on you. They don't want you to be able to boast that you can buy your own car or you have your own ride or you have your own house or you can do this, do that. At the same time, they will tell you all you need from them is money, or they're going to take you for a work date because even you cannot even afford a dinner date for yourself. They want you to lower your standards to their level so that their own low standard, they can high it a little and try to impress you with that. So when they see a woman that has high standard, they're like, how can I high my standard to meet this lady's standard? It's not possible. It hurts them. It hurts their ego. What is your take on this video? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. Let me share some videos for you all to watch and I'll share my thoughts at the end of the video.
A woman calls herself independent, that's a red flag to me. We don't like independent women. We do like self-sufficient women, but there's a major difference between the two. We don't mind self-sufficiency. A woman that has her own career, her own place, cars, money, businesses, we don't mind that. But the minute you start to idolize your independence is where we see red flags because there's a certain spirit that comes along with that. It's the I don't need anybody paradigm.
Okay, so he went on to continue to say a bunch of other nonsense about how he doesn't, he would never make his woman feel like he doesn't need her or whatever. But you want to know what I find is always missing from this independent woman conversation and the men that make videos talking about this? I never hear them say all the things that a woman could depend on them for. Like, the conversation never gets that far. Like, the men who complain about women being independent and, women not needing no man or whatever, the conversation is never because, I'm looking for a woman that I can provide her every need and her every want. I'm looking for a woman that I can retire and, take out of that job. I don't want that woman working. I'm looking for a woman where she don't barely have to drive if she don't want to. I'll take her where she needs to go. I'm like, you just don't hear the next part of the conversation. And it reminds me of when Lizzo made that song and she said, why men great till they gotta be great? And so many women related to it because what I find this whole independent woman conversation to boil down to is that a lot of men want women to be so dependent and reliant on them until women actually depend and rely on them. Because these are the same men that complain about paying for dates. These are the same men that complain that everybody's a gold digger. These are the same men that complain that all these women want is your money. All these women are looking for is your money. These are the same men that complain that, oh, these women, wouldn't even be able to survive without a man, blah, blah, blah. Like, they complain about women actually needing them. So it's like you want women to be in this state of dependence and reliance upon a bunch of people who can't be depended on, a bunch of people who can't be relied on, because the minute you actually need them, it's a problem. The minute, oh, you need me to pay your light bill, how are you paying that light bill before you met me? But you need to be needed so bad until somebody actually needs you. So maybe instead of complaining about why so many women are so independent and they don't need a man, which mind you, I don't even hear women in real life actually saying this. Like, women are just doing their own thing. Like, they're being independent, they're taking care of themselves. But ain't nobody walking around here talking about, I'm a strong, independent woman who don't need no man. Like, that's nobody's really saying that. Like, be so for real. Women are just taking care of their stuff. They're buying their own houses. They're getting their own careers. They're doing what they need to do to take care of themselves. It ain't really got much to do with the man. But I'm pretty sure if you are that guy that comes into that woman's life and shows her that you can be depended on, that you can be relied on, not just when it's convenient for you, but when she actually needs you, that you actually will show up, you will actually be reliable, you will actually be dependable, that woman would have no reason to be walking around calling herself a strong, independent woman. Why would she? So stop complaining about it and maybe work on being that guy that a woman could depend on, and you won't have no problems with an independent woman. There's an idea. They like women that are self sufficient. They like women that have their own, women that can take care of themselves. They like that, but they don't like the independent woman. What that means is, I don't want to provide all the things that you are providing for yourself. Like, what I don't like is that you don't make me feel like you still depend on me anyway. I don't like that you don't make me feel like the big strong man that came in to save the day, even though I don't want to be the big strong man that comes in to save the day. They want you to be self-sufficient while still making them feel like they're your savior.
You know what this sounds like to me? This is the financial equivalent of faking orgasms, of pretending to not know how to do something around the house, and like you need him to come do it for you, to come to your rescue. An elderly female relative of mine once told me that, like, even if you know how to do something, pretend like you don't, so he can help you with it, to make him feel useful. So they're going to attach themselves to us, take advantage of our resources while providing very little in return. Because they don't do any childcare, they don't do any housework, they don't really contribute to the household in the same way that women do. Yet they want us to pretend like they came to our rescue, like they're paying the full freight, even though they have no intention of providing. So they want us to keep up the illusion that we need them, to keep up the illusion that we're helpless, even when we're not. They know it's not real. They're asking us to pretend like the world was the way it was 50 years ago in order to preserve their ego. Are you fucking kidding me? How weak are these dudes? They're threatened by a self-sufficient woman, and they need that self-sufficient woman to pretend like she's not self-sufficient, so they'll feel better about themselves. These men know that we are competent, and they know we don't need them. But if we don't keep up the facade that we do, then that might lead them to realize their worst fear, that we might even be better than them. Because that's their worst fear, that women are better than them at anything. No matter how insignificant it is, that's their biggest fear. These men are so insecure. The theme of all the content I posted today is basically audacity, right? The audacity that we are expected to pretend like we are less successful than we are to soothe some man's ego. And then these men would still call themselves good men. They'd still call themselves providers and protectors and yada yada. If a man needs a woman to pretend to be less than she is in order for him to want to be with her, he is not a good man.
And you all, if you reach out to them every time you need something done, they will insult you and tell you, must I do everything for you? You're very lazy. You can't do anything. I don't have money. I'm the one that bring all the bills. You don't work. All you do is sit at home and take care of kids. They will insult you. Then now be independent. Hustle. Do your thing by yourself. Don't even need them for anything. they have problem with it. Are you not saying who has the problem? Is it the woman or the man? These men have problems, to be honest. I feel like these men feel very insecure, and it's because they cannot do without women. They cannot do without women, and they are afraid that women can do without them. They're afraid because at the end of the day, loneliness epidemic is rising, and they're like, "Ah, if these women figure this out and see that they don't actually need us, they are in soup because they need us, right? So they're trying to also pull down independent women and be like, okay, you don't have to be too independent, rely on us, even if they're not going to do it. See, you relying on them is not the problem. The problem is, will they come true? Will they? Most of the time, they do not come true. You end up feeling sad, feeling angry, and wish you have the resources to do what you need to be done. That is why women are struggling to make it now. Women are working, some women are having 5 jobs, 4 jobs, just to keep up with their lifestyle because they don't want any man to use them to do shakara. They don't want any man to use them to do any shakara at all. So they try to work hard and put things in place. But because of women are, striving, buying houses, doing this, owning a lot of businesses, they are afraid because they cannot hide their standard. The little bare minimum that they can do is no longer bare minimum anymore. It's no longer bare minimum anymore. They are afraid, and that is why they are intimidated by independent women. They feel that they can be with women that still holds back and women that still want to be dependent on their man for everything. Men like those kind of women so that they can easily control you, easily tell you what to do, easily tell you you are not ready for this kind of thing now because they know you don't have your money, you don't have your resources, you don't have that power to say you can get things done when you want things done. I feel like the beauty of a woman is for her to be able to afford to do whatever she wants to do at any given time, with or without a man. If everything you do is to depend on a man for everything you do, at the end of the day, you won't get things done in the right time. You might get it done later, but it will not be the time you want it to be done. So if you're an independent woman, you get things done at your own precious time. And that's the most beautiful thing of being a woman, in my own opinion. What is your take on this conversation? I know we've talked about this conversation before, but then let's talk about it again. Can you share your thoughts down in the comment section respectfully? Jigomara Davis, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.